Greetings, Judah. DFG here, getting in flight. Hey guys, just want to take a few minutes of your time, and I want to address a very serious problem that's now starting to show up inside of Judah and to the lesser degree Israel. And that particular problem is the taking of one's own life. And this is something that, in my personal opinion, has been underemphasized as all of these other challenges that we're being confronted with and dealing with, for the most part, have been dramatized. And what I mean by that, the lies about attacking the Asians and, this Black Lives Matter BS and this, what do they call that? The effing, what is called, niggas not effing around, or whatever the hell they call themselves, coalition. Those type of, irrelevant, impotent, no energy, no clear focus, self-sabotaging programs or organizations that are set up by either the George Soros groups, or these other, Rockefeller groups, whatever philanthropists, so-called, who sponsor these devils, Koch brothers included, to really throw us off of true issues that are going on inside of our community. And some of these issues, or one of those most important issues, is suicide amongst the people. And when you begin to think about it, I'm shocked that it's not more frequent amongst our people. Because when you look at how the mind gets attacked around suicide thoughts, it's clear to see that this is definitely driven by powers and forces well beyond what any individual independently, or with the help of the so-called medical world, is able to deal with. And when you start talking about what are the root causes of suicidal thoughts, the thoughts that will make someone want to take their life, there are a lot of natural things that go on, like poverty, neglect, lack of opportunity, systematic racism against the people, the judicial system being manipulated or intentionally manipulated to come after our people, the taking away of resources unjustly from men who are fathers, who, for whatever reason, could not coexist with the mother. And now you have a judicial system that not only robbed the man of his wages, but also denies him the right to have a decision on whether or not he wants to take the children. And if they're going to be child support, let her pay it. But these are the kind of things that aren't talked about, inside of our communities. Oh, and let it also be stated, when you have parents who don't know Elohim, or parents who embrace religion but don't embrace the truth and rebuke the knowledge of who we are and how this book is our instruction, genuinely our instruction, on how to conduct family business. They resist that truth, and they move over to half-truths, doctrines of devils, that teachers with itchy ears, some of the teachers who really, for money, will say any damn thing to appease the congregation. And that's where they rest themselves, and that's where they expose their children and leave their children in the hands of these wolves, where then Satan comes through those wolves, because there's nothing protecting them. There's no Ruhuk, because the mother and the father are so caught in religion, or whatever the hell they caught up in. They have totally abdicated their responsibility, as the word says, to train up their children. in the words and the ways of Yah. And now our children are being exposed to the voices of death, lunacy, under the guise of depression, under the guise of being bipolar, under the guise of what else? I guess those are two real good ones right there. And never anybody coming back and saying, wait a minute. Yes, you may be bipolar. At least your behavior is very, the day you're one way, tomorrow you're another way. Yes, you very well could be depressed. Because the way this society treats Judah, you'd have to be a damn fool. You know, I don't know how you couldn't be depressed. You know what I'm saying? We're superhuman, you know, Elohim like that. We can fight through it, to be honest with you, because most of Judah lives every day in some form of oppression, which leads to depression. But the elephant in the room that nobody talks about is possession. We're obsessed with all the issues that are going on around us, depressed because we sometimes don't know what to do about these things. But we never deal with the root cause of what's causing all those other voices and thoughts that affect or impact our decisions, that are manipulating our decisions and bringing harm upon ourselves or bringing harm upon our loved ones. But we never deal with the elephant in the room. Again, possession. Demonic possession. You see, fathers and mothers, when you don't bring up your children in the ways of Elohim, and you don't pray and ask Elohim to transfer his Rahuk in you into them, then you expose your sheep, your children, your lambs to the wolves. And, you know, when we talk about this, again, when is the last time, and I will continue to emphasize this as long as Yah give me a voice and cognitive thought where to articulate this. When was the last time in any of these churches that you guys are going to, listen to any of these preachers who are preaching to you, and you heard them talk about suicide and what is causing suicide? The real causes of suicide. They'll blame it on drugs. They'll blame it on no fathers in the home. They'll blame it on your mama was a hoe. They'll blame it on everything else. But they will not address satanic influences or demonic possession anymore. That word is taboo in Satan's house now. Because see, Satan's house is not divided. But I can take you right here to the book, which of course you know I will. But I can take you right here to the book. I want to say it may be Matthew chapter 2 or Luke chapter 1. And there's this woman who comes before Elohim. And this child is a lunatic. This child is demon possessed, acting crazy and wilding out, acting just out of his mind, jumping into the fire, anything out of control, burning themselves, cutting themselves. You know how suicidal people respond. And as soon as Yah came up in front of that child, and Yah spoke to that demon in that demon went to screaming and hollering, and the scripture said, release that child, and that child sat there nice and calm. Because that demon, which had possessed that child, came into the presence of the Rahuk, or the power of Elohim, and it could not continue to have dominion over that child. And therefore, that depression, that suicidal behavior, cutting itself, running into the fire, jumping into the fire, it was removed. Because those are demons that are in our minds telling us that these are to medicate yourself, to disrespect your body, to put yourself, in serious harm out here in these streets, doing, acts that could get you killed, murdered. All of these things are demon possessions. These demons have found a gateway into our children. And their number one objective as with all of Satan, steal, kill, destroy. And this was a little child, I might add. So for all you idiots who are over there talking about the child can't be possessed with demons, oh yes it can. And most likely, if you haven't come to this reality, your damn child is probably full of the devil. Your child is probably already possessed. That's why you see them now. They're already learning how to lie. They're already learning if their little girls shake their asses, and you over there applauding it. Little boys wiggling their little peewee, they ain't bigger than this, but he think it's worth something now because you're exposing them to all this wizardry through these television programming, this Disney programming, cartoon programming, music programming, and every other kind of programming that's coming through the technology that you are exposing these children to. And then you got the young man, again, or the man who's of this state of demon possession. And as you see, again, a lot of our young men are out here on these streets doing criminal activities that at any second could cause them for their life to be snatched away from them because of demonic possession. And nobody is talking about the demons there. No one is telling that young man, son, let's sit down and talk. There's something going on here, greater than what you understand. I know you just think you're upset. I know you just feel like nobody understands you. And yes, you're right. Obviously, you're upset. And most likely, nobody understands you because for the most part, nobody give a damn about your ass. But you need to understand that you're under demon possession. And those demons are feeding you information how to destroy yourself. Again, thief come to steal, kill, and destroy. And what you see, a lot of this behavior, whether it's any kind of this violent behavior of our men, like I said many times before, our men can be so effeminate that you can't even look their way without them wanting to kill you for looking at them. Instead of saying, when someone looks at you, nodding your head as a term of endearment, hey, I see you there, brother. Hey, what's up, sister? How you doing? Whatever. You follow me? Not, giving people the stink eye, as they say, and growling at them as though you want to beat their ass because they looked at you. That's demons in you that's telling you to hate like that. You are possessed of demons if you're thinking that way. And it won't be long before you, as they were saying, wilding out, acting like wild animals. And we saw that in the book. Remember the man that was in the cave? I think it was 2 of them in there. And Yeshua came upon the shores. And when that demons heard that he was there, you remember what they said? They said he was in there cutting himself, doing all kinds of suicidal acts, putting himself and his family in harm's way to get himself killed or seriously injured. But as soon as the presence of Elohim came in Yeshua, it runs out there and says, hey, why are you here? We know who you are. Why are you coming to destroy us for the time? Again, like I said to you many times, sisters and brothers, Satan is on the clock. All right? He's on the clock. And so are you. So are we. We are all on the clock. What does that mean? The time is short. And many of you are acting and living like you've got for eternally to get this right. And you don't. None of us do. But when that demon came up to Yeshua, it says, we know who you are. Why have you come to torment us before it's time? And Yeshua said, well, got a question for you. Who are you? Who are you? What's your name? You see, when you come into the presence of Elohim, and that's why fathers is so important to train your children up to hear Elohim's voice. That way they'll know his voice from the demonic voices in their head that's telling them and persuading them to commit suicide. And I'm going to back this up in a minute, by the way, with the book. So please stay with me. I've already given you, what I'm sharing with you is examples that are in the book. But But I'm going to get you right down to where they say where it's a low gravy, where it's going to be no question who this is in your ears telling you these lies. Although they feel truth, if you're going through those suicidal thoughts. You say, DFG, why are you so assured by that? Are you a medical professional? No, I'm not. But I have suffered with suicidal thoughts before. I think that qualifies me as well as any goddamn medical expert would qualify him. But I digress. He asked him, he said, well, who are you? And he said unto Yeshua, my name is Legion. 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 He said, because there are many of us. Now you say, well, yeah, but there's many demons all over the world. No, my sister, my brother. He was saying there were many of them inside of him. A legion is anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000. And what you may or may not understand, my sisters, my brothers, especially you men who are sleeping around with all these women, don't you know that the demons that are in them women you're sleeping around will get into your bodies? And when you bring these women into your home and you're having sex with all these different women, don't you know that some of those demons are sticking around after that whore is gone? And after your whorish behavior is over with, your whorish encounter is done? Don't you know those demons are there, right there in the bedroom, wherever you were getting it on at, those demons sitting right there waiting for you to come back so they can join in again and again and again. Some of your homes are full of demons. You women too. All those men you brought in there and you brought in that house and you laid down with, they left some of them demons in there, left some of them demons in you. Have you repented? Have you asked God to cleanse you out from that possession? That's why a lot of you guys are carrying your past into the present. You go from one relationship that went bad, and then you get in the next relationship, it goes bad, and then you get another relationship and it goes bad, and you conclude there are no good men, when the truth is your ass is the problem. You haven't been cleansed of those other demons, and now you got 3 times more demons, and you get with another fool, you're going to have 4 times more demons. So if the first one left 1,000, next one's going to leave his 1,000, the next one maybe leave his 2,000, the next one leaves his 2. Now you got 6,000 going into a new relationship. And the man is looking at you, the new man is looking at you like, what's your problem? Rah, 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 rah. He's like, what does that got to do with me? Oh, you don't care. What are you talking about? I don't care. I don't even understand what the hell you're talking about. Now, Yeshua said you're trying to put, a new relationship on top of a bad relationship when you haven't dealt with the bad relationships. Yeshua kind of made it easy for us to understand when he said you cannot put new wine in old wineskins. Because the new wine will cause the old skins to burst open, and you're going to lose all of your wine. He said put new wine in new wineskins. So in other words, you need to cleanse yourself out of those demons so that when you go to your next stop, or hopefully your final and your only stop, let me be clear here, that if y'all bring forth a member of the royal hood, his priesthood, your so-called, there ain't many kings amongst us, guys. Some of us are kings, some of us are not. Most of us aren't kings, but all of us are royal priesthood. All of us of a royal bloodline. We all were set aside by Elohim. But when that man of Elohim is present, he won't be able to coexist with you because you still got all them demons in there. You still got that old wineskin, and you asking him to put his new wine in your old wineskin. And what is going to happen is before long, y'all going to be at war with one another because your behavior is not consistent with someone who's looking for something clean, pure, and just. And you might say, well, what's it got to do with suicide? Well, if you get rejected enough times, sister, your ass will know exactly what it has to do with suicide. See, some of you commit spiritual suicide and not physical suicide. What do I mean by that? Spiritual suicide. Your walk with Yah is almost non-existent. You don't take care of yourself anymore. You lay around with anyone. You become a gossiper, a best friend girl, whore. You become very rebellious towards other men. 5. And you blame everybody but the devil. 6. I'll stop right there. I'll stop. I'm sure I could just go on. And some of you men, for time's sake, I won't do it, but the same thing applies. So you look at this demon man, when he came, he's full of these demons, and Yeshua said, okay, well, fine. He said, if you go, the demon said, well, there are thousands of us in this body, and we know you're not going to let us stay there. See, that's the power of the Ruach. See, when you've got a covering men, when you allow Yah to cover you, you have a lot of power. The book says 1 can put 1,000 to flight, 2 can put 10,000 to flight. I'm talking about demons. But see, that's the power of what the word puts in you when your heart is open to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Elohim. But when you reject that knowledge, you become a fool, and you have nothing inside of you to fight back. So therefore, you're like a ragamuffin dog. The demon just doing all kind of shit with you. Therefore, it's creating lunacy, depression, obsession, possession, suicidal thoughts, suicidal behavior. So there's a spiritual debt, and don't think that you die when your spirit dies. Not necessarily. Yeshua told one of his followers who asked to go and bury their father. He said, "No, you stay with me. Go let those dead people bury their dead people." These people were walking away from Yah. They were not walking in alignment with the word of Yah. They were in Christianity. They were in Catholicism, or Buddhism, or Hinduism, or Islam, etc. He said, let those dead bury their dead. Let them do their little religious traditions. We have nothing in common with them. So those demons inside of that man said, well, I know you're going to cast us out, but can you be merciful and let us go into the pigs? Because after all, the swine is the most filthiest beast on the planet, and surely you would have no problem with us going into the swine, to the pigs. I mean, after all, they love the mud, they eat their own, they eat shit, they drink piss, they drink slop. They're just filthy, eat humans, they're worse than dogs. And Yeshua said, okay, you can do that. And so those demons saw a herd of pigs. That means many, many, many pigs. Those demons came out of him. Yah told him, the exit door, go right out that door right there. Don't let the door hit you in the ass when you go through. That's how you need to do some of these wicked demons that are around you. Son, sister, man, woman. There's the door. Don't let the doorknob hit you in the ass when you go through it. That's what Yah more or less told those demons. They went into the pigs. And you think those filthy animals would have been just as happy and say, oh, well, what the hell, no big, nothing new to report here. Shit. Those pigs, they committed suicide. Oh, you thought I was off the subject. The pigs committed suicide because there was a demons inside the man was suicidal demons. That's why he was cutting up on himself, acting all crazy, like a wild man. And you see this going on all the time, and none of us stop and say, wait a minute, we have a situation here. We need to deal with this boy or this girl before it's too late. So those pigs ran off and drowned themselves. That's how they felt about it. Those pigs committed suicide. Because it wasn't the pigs, it was the demons. It was the demons. And yes, suicidal thoughts are demonically influenced. Yes. I don't give a damn what your medical scientists say. Your doctors say. I'm going to tell you what the book says. Now, if you believe in your human doctor, and you think your human doctor has more knowledge than the word of Yah, then keep on listening to him and keep on dying. Keep on exposing your children to all this evil shit. Keep on pushing them into these evil and wicked ass lifestyles. And you're going to live to regret it. You're going to live to regret it. Oh yeah, DFG know a little bit about that. about losing a child to demonic influences. I'm going to call it right on out. And started doing suicidal behavior. And he lost. You're not going to win without the Rahook in you when you going at head to head with Satan. You're going to lose. You are going to lose. You are no threat to Lucifer, Azazel, and the rest of the demons. The 1/3 of those who fell from the heavens were thrown out. An innumerable amount of demons. You're like a damn, goddamn a gnat on an elephant's ass trying to take the elephant down. It ain't gonna happen. Just not gonna happen. That's what you're like. It's like a damn sea snail on the tail of a damn whale, trying to take it down, trying to drown it. It's not gonna happen. We're no match for Satan and Satan kind without Elohim fighting on our behalf. But you do have a responsibility, parents, to play in this. Young people, you have a responsibility to play in all of this. And your first responsibility is cutting off all these damn tools and inventions that I mentioned to you a moment ago that is corrupting your soul. You're exposing yourself to all of this shit via that television, via these video games, via these tablets and iPhones and Androids or whatever kind of phone you're using. All those things are eye gates and ear gates for Satan to come through that equipment, through that technology, come right into your soul. And if you're not sealed with the Rahook, you'll be sitting there thinking things that you never could imagine, contemplating doing things that you know are filthy and wicked. And you won't even understand why you're doing it, but you're going to do it anyway. There are many of you, you know I'm right, are saying, I'm tired of this. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop sleeping around. I'm going to stop, doing drugs. I'm going to stop this and that. And I mean, as soon as you say that shit and Satan hear you say it, within an hour you're doing it again. Just constantly, he's constantly making a fool out of you and going to Yah and saying, see, look at him. This is what you thought so highly of. This is what you're judging me and my kind because we supposedly corrupted them. They don't need our help to corrupt them. They seem to be more than willing to be corrupted. Yeah? So why do we have to take the heat? In other words, why are we the ones going to hell? Y'all said that Satan constantly come before the throne accusing us. Not his kind, not the fallen ones, not the children of the fallen ones, the hybrids, the soulless ones, the shameless, not them. Not Gog and Magog. They're already, there's nothing in them. There's no Rahook. They were not made in the image and the likeness of Yah. They were made in the image and the likeness of men and filthy beasts and animals. That's the book. Sorry, but you don't. This ain't for you, heathens, Gentiles. But our people are perishing because there is no prophet, there is no voice in the land. And our book says when there is no voice or no prophet in the land, no messenger in the land, the people will do whatever they imagine to do. And we see that going on right now. And I'm going to tell you another sad story. You see this whole thing around abortions and all this pro-choice foolishness? Judah, your asses have taken this way too far. At least some of you have gone way, way too far with this pro-choice foolishness. Because for every time you promote that, every time you advocate on behalf of that, that is blood on your hands, and Yah is going to hold you accountable at judgment for it. He said all murderers would have their part in the lake of fire that burneth with brimstone. All murderers. Go back and read it. Revelation 21:8. All murderers, not some murderers, all murderers. Killing these babies, murdering these babies, your ass is going to go to hell. And if you're advocating for it, you're going to hell. But here's a sad story. and one you need to hear. Because when you don't train your children up and teach them the right way of doing things and pray that Yah grabs hold of them when they become of age, because he said if you train them up in the ways and knowledge of Elohim, laws, statutes, commandments of Yah, when they would get old, they would remember that. And they would practice that. And they would live a disciplined life. But so few of us got that from our parents, and so many of you are not passing it down to your children. And therefore, we have all been victimized, some unto death. But that's what the book teaches. But there's a 20-year-old girl right here in the state of Louisiana. A few days ago. Not a few days ago. She had been missing for about 2 weeks. Parents looking for a 20-year-old, beautiful young, Judah girl. Very talented from what it appeared. Dancer. Well, she got herself caught up in a situation. What was the situation? She got pregnant by her boyfriend. She's 20 years old. I'm sure he's probably close to her age. Well, what her parents told her was that, you need to kill that baby. Kill it. She didn't want to kill the baby. But they told her, either you murder that child or you can't stay in this house with us. Well, she had nowhere else to go. She's a college student. Her parents paying her for college. You know what I'm saying? She's probably living at home off campus. Her life and her mind would be destroyed if her parents threw her out and refused to support her. What would she do? Where would she go? So what she did, she hearkened to the voice of those two devils, mother and father demons, who forced their daughter to murder their grandchild. She complied. She should have resisted. She should have accepted homelessness. 20 years old, you're not a baby. The 20-year-old women out there, I'm talking to you, are not little children. Your ass is responsible for the decisions that you make. If your mammy and pappy haven't told you, you just heard it from DFG. So she kills the baby. She murders it. Goes and aborts it. 2 weeks later, she can't live with herself. So she takes her car. She parks it up on the Mississippi River Bridge in Baton Rouge. That bridge is a very, very high bridge. That bridge is stories and stories above the Mississippi River. She parked that car, left that car running. On camera, you can see her walking back and forth along the rails. And all 105 pounds or 5'7" of her jumped right over that rail into that river, where she stayed as a how will you say, a watery grave for 2 weeks until they found her body. Suicide. And the question comes back, who told her to do that? Who told her to jump over that bridge, and jumping over that bridge would resolve the problem that she had? Who told her that? You think Elohim told her that? You think the Ruhut told her that? Which some of you call the Holy Spirit? Who told her that? You think her religion was there to stop her from doing it? The cult of Catholicism? Would you think it was there? Or maybe that's why she jumped. Maybe somebody lied to her and told her, commit suicide. Might as well go and get it over with. Y'all still gonna love you. Really? Really? Is that what the book says? Does the book say? And also you say, well, the book said if you commit suicide, you can't be saved. Well, where you read that at? Verse and chapter, please. And can you give me some precepts on that as well? So we can be assured that you're not taking some scripture out of context. But I'm going to give you a scripture that tell you where it did come from. I've already given you precepts on demon possession. Everything I said to you so far in the book. 1,000 to fight, 2, 10,000. The man lunatic, the child lunatic. Right? I've given you some information. In each instance, they were trying to kill themselves. These demons were trying to kill them. Use them and then kill them. Cause them to commit, unthinkable acts where they can't live with themselves, like aborting innocent babies and then killing themselves. Men becoming sodomites. You follow me? Because they think that sodomy is somehow or another a part of Yah's natural life plan for them. Same thing with these women. Only to find out that later on that Yah had no pleasure in that behavior. And not only that Yah had no pleasure in that behavior, but the wages of sin of that behavior, because of it was wicked, there was wickedness associated with that behavior, led them to death, to the grave. Excuse me for 1 second, Jude. Praise you. I want to make sure, keep a little energy here. I don't want to lose you here. So, plug up. Hopefully you'll put that Rahook in you just like I'm putting that charge into this phone. Praise Yah. DFG. Sometimes that amateur inside of me with technology shows itself up. But you guys are my sisters and brothers in the faith. And I do appreciate your tolerance of it. Hallelujah. So let's continue on here. So anyway, the young lady kills herself, and now there's 2 deaths. The baby is dead. She's dead. And her parents are now going to have to deal with the consequences of them not respecting life. Amen? But if I can bring you on to the end of this message, let's go see what the book says about suicide and where it comes from. Praise Yah. All right? Go to Matthew chapter 4. It says, then Yeshua was led up of the Rahook into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Remember that. Satan is tempting. Tempting means persuaded, encouraged, influenced. When he had fasted 40 days and nights, he was afterwards hungry. And when the tempter came, Satan is the tempter. Ideas, remember I told you, tips, thoughts, ideas, and suggestions is how he normally gets you. Planting evil thoughts, evil ideas, or even evil suggestions in your minds, our minds, to cause us to fall away from Yah. And in some cases, cause us to destroy the most precious thing that Yah ever created, life. Amen? According to Yah's word. And I'm so tempted to go back and say, look at Psalms. I want to say it's chapter 8. What is man that thou art so mindful of him? Thou set him, made him a little lower than the angels, but established him in a very high and royal place. I think I pretty much gave you just a quick little overview of that. But destroying ourselves, it's not of Yah, it's of Satan. Let's go on. He says, and the tempter came to him and said, if you be the son of Elohim, command these stones be made bread. But Yeshua answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahuwah. See, all these people want to say Yeshua and Yahuwah are the same. You're a damn lie. Yeshua, as I said before, many times, only spoke what Yahuwah told him to say. You shouldn't be worshiping Yeshua. You should be worshiping Yahuwah. That cross and Caesar Bagora shit is going to send more you niggas to hell than you can shake a stick at. Because you won't listen. You want religion. You don't want the truth. Verse 5. And this is the part I want you to listen to very careful, mothers and fathers, young men and young women, older men and older women who may be contemplating suicide because you're tired of this life. Let me tell you something. You get to work for Yah, he'll give you a purpose to fulfill the end of your days here. It doesn't matter how old you are. Your life still belongs to Elohim. If you're Judah, Israel, your life belongs to Elohim. Elohim will determine what happens and how it ends, not you. Take your hands off of Yah's property and keep them off. It said, then the devil took him up into the holy mountain, or the holy city, and set him on a pinnacle of the temple. And he said unto him, if you be the son of Elohim, cast yourself down. I'm going to say that to you again. Satan told Yeshua to kill himself. He took him on a high, to the holy city, and put him on a high pinnacle, a place that if he had jumped off, he would be dead, without question. And don't tell me he couldn't die. We saw him die on the tree. He was hung. But Satan told him, he said again, he set him upon the pinnacle of a temple, the highest point. If you be the Son of Man, cast yourself down, kill yourself. For it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning you, and in their hands you shall land, so that you won't dash your foot or even your feet against a stone. That's what he's saying here. Just gave you a quick. If you want me to read to you literally, some of you guys know you want to hear it literal. Okay, let me say it again. He's telling me, kill yourself. Jump off this goddamn high pinnacle, because he shall give his angels. He said, because the word says, it's written in the book, that he shall give his angels charge concerning you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest any time you dash your foot against a stone. So he's lying. It's a lying spirit that's telling you to kill yourself, and Yah got you. Because Yeshua corrected that lie. That half-truth. And let's look at Yeshua's response. And Yeshua said unto him, it is written, you shall not tempt Elohim. You see, when you sitting down there talking, I'm going to kill myself and Yah's going to forgive me, no, he's not. You're tempting. That's an abomination. That's blasphemy. That is wickedness. You're bringing Elohim down to the level of a man. That's abominable. That's abomination. And you will find no place in the world to come if you do that. Because if you listen to, he said, my sheep hear my voice, and a stranger's voice they will not follow. Young women, you hear me? Young men, you hear me? Older women, older men, you hear me? What voice are you listening to? Because if you're listening to the voice to tell you to behave yourself in a way that can get you killed, you are not listening to Elohim. You are listening to the devil, Satan. And you had better be very careful. Because in the case of the wild man in the cave, in the case of the child who was jumping in the fire, Yah was there right on time. But for many of you, like that little girl, like my son, you're not going to have that opportunity. Because at the time you think that I'm going to do it one more time, that one more time going to be your last time. Sisters and brothers, we are at war. Our warfare is a spiritual warfare. The outer impact of it looks physical, but it's spiritual. It's affecting us physically, naturally, fleshly, but it's starting inside and it's working itself out. And it's about time now that we address suicide and its causes. Where is it coming from? How did Yeshua fight back when his moment of temptation came? When he was told, kill yourself. It'll be better for you. The angels got you. That's what they mean by, when they say the angels got, it means it will be better. Your life will be better if you just end it. Or you can put away all your misery, all your pain, all these problems. Lie, and lie. You talking about jumping into, how you say those saying, jumping from the frying pan into the skillet. You're going to burn. You are going to burn if you take your life, sisters, brothers, young children, young adults, older people. I don't care what kind of ailment you have. If y'all won't heal it, then you let go the courageous way. Die a natural death. Deal with it. You remind me of this segment in the movie Platoon, and the movie just began. And they were going out on the night watch on the search for the enemy, and they ran into the enemy. And one of the guys got shot. One of them was killed, but one of them had gotten injured. But his injury was not unto death, and he was screaming out loud and making a lot of noise. And they were afraid that the enemy would hear where they were and come. If there were more enemy out there, they would attack it. It was dark; they couldn't see. And I remember the Tom Berenger guy. I want to think his name was Sergeant Burns, I think is what he called himself. He told him, shut up and take the pain. He got right in his face. Shut up and take the pain. And that soldier shut up and took that pain. And if you got to choose between taking your life and shutting up and taking the pain, shut up and take the pain. Because Yah will hear you. Just go to Yah. Yah knows when you've taken all that you can take. When you're suffered enough, He knows what to do. He'll remove the rehook from you. Take your soul and bring it to rest. But a lot of you guys out here, you're playing with the devil. You're playing in sorcery. You're playing in idolatry. You're playing in these wicked games and these programs. You're embracing all of this skullduggery and debauchery out here. You're exposing your children to all these demons. Exposing, again, yourself to all these demons. And you need to understand that Yah says that when He comes and He find you out there dancing with the devil, He going to leave your ass out there dancing with the devil. Because know what He said? He said, when you least expect His return, that's when He's going to return. He said that good and faithful servant who was waiting, was prepared. When the master comes, he'll find him where he's supposed to be, and he will have his place with the master. But that wicked and evil servant who got tired of waiting and said, oh, he delayed his coming, I'm going back out here and do what the hell I was doing. I'll come back some other time. Y'all say he's going to catch your ass out there. And you're going to die to death. Sisters, young women, mothers, fathers, older men, older women, children. Your ass is going to die to death. And it doesn't have to be that way. But it's your life, your soul, your choice. I just want you to know what the book has to say. And there's a demon, the death angel is at our doors, guys. I've said that before. There's a suicide spirit that's running all through Judah right now. All through the nation. And coming against the nation of Israel, or Judah in particular. It's a suicide spirit. And y'all know what I'm talking about. That's why everybody all drugged out and bugged out of their goddamn minds. High as a kite, most of them. Drunk as a skunk. Hoeing, just acting all kind of wretched and filthiness. Filthy behavior, filthy habits, filthy diet. Filthy lifestyle, nasty ass. Won't clean up, won't wash dishes, won't clean the house. Won't cut the grass, won't fix nothing. Just wretchedness. Insanity. And y'all can clean your ass up. Just like the prodigal son. He was in the pig's pen. He said, look, the servants live better than this. I can do better than this. But I know I can't do it unless I go back to Yah. So I go back to my father, my master. When will you make that decision, Judah? When? You think you have time? Let me tell you. No, you don't. He said, the day you hear my voice, harden not my heart, as the people did when they were in transgression. And I came and I had to destroy their asses. Because they were out there living like all kind of sexual, diabolical debauchery, whoredom, filth, drunkenness, you name it, they were doing it. And he said, that's where I found their asses at and I destroyed their asses right there. Will it be you? Will you continue to push this pro-choice foolishness on your children, on your daughters, men, on your women, men, ladies? I don't want no babies right now. I ain't ready for no baby. Go to death. Go die 1,000 deaths. That murder is going to cause you your own head. And all of you encouragers, all you best girlfriends and all you best boyfriends who sitting there encouraging that, the blood is on your hands as much as it is on our hands. That's right. You sound like those niggas out there talking about crucify him. Crucify him. When Pilate said, this man, I don't find no fault with him. You can have Barabbas, who is a damn crook and need to be killed. Oh, we don't want Barabbas. We want him. What y'all want me to do? Crucify him. Crucify. That's how many of you sound. Crucify him. Crucify him. When you're in the ears telling, these people to do the wrong things because you are miserable and you want them miserable too. Or you are over there advising them out of your own ignorance. You haven't studied. If you studied the word, you would know that abortion is wrong. Homosexuality is wrong. You would know that if you studied the book. Abandoning your children, not taking care of your children, putting your men in the unjust court system. You would know that if you studied the book. But why would you study a book when you're not a woman of Yah? Why would you study a book when you're not a man of Yah? Why would you? Then again, maybe you will after this message. That's all I got for you tonight. I hope you shared it. But suicide is serious, my brothers and my sisters. And I hope you take, again, if you take nothing away from this message, go back to the very end. Matthew chapter 4. Share the scripture with your children. I don't care if they don't have suicidal thoughts. You need to teach these children the ways of Elohim before it happens. Too many of you guys are reactive. You need to learn how to be proactive. Your child don't have to come and tell you that they have suicidal thoughts for you to start trying to get them help. How about being in front of it and say, hey, I want you to understand that sometimes there'll be things in your life that will happen to you that can make you feel really bad and maybe even feel like you have no chance and that your life is pretty much done. Understand that's Satan talking to you. And here's why. And take them to Matthew chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. Teach them something. Impart unto them the wisdom of Yah. It may be the difference of them losing their life or you being a part of them saving their lives. DFG, talk to you soon. Bye now.